Welcome to Vault Studio.
This is Story Vault Studio. Rebecca Grant opens her eyes to blood-red words burning across her vision. A countdown, ticking upward, counting down to the moment she loses everything. Somewhere on campus, a girl she's called a friend for 2 years has been quietly rehearsing how to become her. Same walk, same hair, same face turned toward the same cameras. The system watching over Rebecca knows what's coming. Debts, scandal, ruin, all of it waiting to be poured onto her the instant the swap completes. But Rebecca Grant doesn't plan on losing quietly. If someone wants her life this badly, she's going to make sure they regret ever asking for it. If you enjoy immersive stories like this, consider subscribing. Now, let's begin. Rebecca opened her eyes to blood-red letters burning across her vision. Counterfeit progress, 80%. At 100, the target will fully assume the identity of Rebecca Grant, heiress of the Grant Group. She lay still, staring at the ceiling, waiting for the words to make sense. They didn't. She was Rebecca Grant, only daughter of the Grant Group, and somewhere out there, a girl had decided the easiest way to get any of it was to become her. Warning: if the swap completes, you will inherit her debts to loan sharks, her expulsion from school, and her leaked photos across every platform she's ever touched. Rebecca sat frozen for 5 full seconds. Scarlett Monroe, her roommate, the girl she'd called a friend for 2 years. She thought back through the small things she'd brushed off. Scarlett talking like her, walking like her, sneaking off to get her hair permed into the same loose waves. Last spring, Rebecca had posted a photo from an overwater bungalow. Scarlett called it fake, then posted an identical one the next morning, framed to the inch, outfit copied down to the belt. Rebecca walked to the mirror, gathered 18 years of carefully maintained hair in one fist, and picked up the scissors. One clean cut. Then another. She didn't stop until there was nothing left to grab. She genuinely couldn't fathom the shamelessness of a person who'd copy someone this openly and still expect to be liked for it. Scarlett had been shadowing her for months. Whatever Rebecca wore, Scarlett wore within the week. At first, she'd assumed it was just intense hero worship. Then, Scarlett cut off her own long hair to match Rebecca's exactly, and Rebecca understood this had stopped being admiration a long time ago. "Scarlett, are you actually broken?" Natalie snapped, jabbing a finger at Scarlett's face across the common room. Copying Rebecca every single day wasn't enough? Now you've gone and copied her haircut too? It's disgusting to watch. Scarlett twirled a curl around one finger. Everyone's allowed to want to look nice. I like waves, so I got waves. Does this style have Rebecca's name copyrighted on it? Progress, 80%. Warning: she's taking out a high-interest loan. When it comes due, you will be the one holding the debt. A chill ran through Rebecca. Scarlett wanted to shove her into the hole she dug for herself and walk away clean. An idea sparked, sharp and immediate. She patted Natalie's shoulder. "Forget it. I was sick of that hairstyle anyway." "Scarlett's right, actually," Rebecca said the next morning, loud enough to carry across the crowded cafeteria. "She just happens to like curls. Has nothing to do with me." Every head at nearby tables turned toward Scarlett, suddenly visible as a slightly off replica standing next to the real thing. Scarlett shot up from her seat. "Keep smirking. Sooner or later, I'll show you exactly who you're dealing with." Then she was gone. weaving fast between the tables.
"You're really just gonna let that slide?" Natalie asked. "She copied a haircut, not a felony," Rebecca shrugged. Inside, she was already thinking the opposite. She wasn't worried Scarlett would keep copying her. She was worried Scarlett might finally stop. And that would be so much worse. That afternoon, Rebecca drove straight to the $7 million townhouse her parents kept near campus. She stood in front of the mirror and ran her fingers through the ragged crop the scissors had left behind. The clippers buzzed a single smooth line down the center of her scalp. She didn't stop until it was bare. Second female lead shaves her head out of spite? Desperate move or masterstroke? Must admit, the bone structure still slays, even bald, but congratulations, you just handed the target free progress. "Rebecca, have you lost your mind?" Scarlett shot to her feet as Rebecca walked in wearing a neon pink wig. "Go fix it right now."
"I like it. I'm keeping it," Rebecca said. "And since when does the school have a rule against pink hair?"
"Excuse me?" Natalie swooped in. "My best friend was born gorgeous. She doesn't need fashion advice from you." That mouth on her friend is doing God's work. The target's furious now. She just blew through the loan money, down to a couple $100. The next morning, Natalie texted in a panic. "Get back here now. I'm about to pull an internal organ laughing. The copycat dyed her hair pink too, and now she looks like a mutant flamingo that lost a fight." In the photo, Scarlett's head glowed an angry, uneven pink, already fading towards sickly yellow from a drugstore box dye. Rebecca picked out a black wig, the classic loose waves, and drove back to campus without hurrying. You changed again?" Scarlett's pupils shrank as her eyes drifted to the sleek black waves. "I thought about it," Rebecca said, smoothing a strand. "You were right. Pink was too loud. Black's the real classic." "What's wrong?" Natalie added. "Not a fan of your own reflection anymore?" "No, Cap. The Ice Princess at least has the face to carry it off. The copycat trying the same color looks like a mutated dragon fruit with legs." Scarlett skipped dinner that night and disappeared under her covers, plotting something. "Bet she dyes it back to black by tomorrow," Natalie said over soup in the dining hall. "I'd put money on it." "Rebecca, you got played. She's using a voice-changing app to call your mother right now, mimicking your sweetest, most helpless tone, whining about money troubles." Rebecca's spoon stopped halfway to her mouth. "What? Thinking about that girl's mug again? Feeling sick?" Natalie asked. "No, just thinking I'm getting tired of changing my hair every other day." "Baby girl, I just sent an extra $2,500 to your card. Also, your roommate Scarlett's been so sweet to you, I sent her $200 as a thank you." "Changing my style is too predictable now," Rebecca said, setting her phone down with a faint smile. "If I'm gonna switch it up again, I want something she couldn't copy in her wildest dreams." "Oh, she's cooking something vicious." "Patience," Rebecca smiled at Natalie. "My birthday's next week. I'm treating the whole class to a real dinner." For her birthday, Rebecca rented out the entire top floor of the city's finest hotel. Scarlett clenched her jaw so hard it clicked, barely sitting long enough to eat before storming out. "Did you see her face?" Natalie was glowing. She thought copying an outfit made her an heiress. Tonight, she learned the difference between the real thing and the knockoff version with free shipping. "Been picking up extra work lately," Scarlett had written in the class group chat. A location pin for one of the city's most expensive clubs attached. "Come let loose with me tonight. My treat." She's playing with fire. That place runs at least $500 a head. She just signed for another $2,000 loan at a brutal interest rate to fund tonight. Where's she even getting this kind of money? Natalie muttered. Did she rob a bank?
Rebecca reapplied her lipstick in the mirror. Who knows? Maybe she won the lottery. They arrived right at 7. The private room already reeked of expensive liquor. Scarlett wore a dress nearly identical to Rebecca's birthday one, waving a hand around the room. "Order whatever you want, everyone. Tonight's on me." She spotted Rebecca and brightened. "You made it! Come sit next to me. I saved you the good seat." Scarlett pressed a glass of wine into Rebecca's hand. "Let's put the past behind us, okay? You're bigger than that. Don't hold it against me." "Water under the bridge," Rebecca said, taking a small sip. $2,000 in high-interest loan money just landed in her account. "Don't just sit there," Scarlett called out, chin rising. "Order appetizers, more bottles. Get whatever's the most expensive." Rebecca watched her play at being wealthy and had to fight back a laugh. Scarlett clearly had no idea a single bottle here would eat half her money alone. "Rebecca, come dance with me," Scarlett said, drifting toward her. "Lady, the $2,000 you borrowed through the app, plus overdue interest, comes to $2,800, the lead man in the black suit said, holding out a folded paper. "Time to pay up." "You've got the wrong person. I don't know who any of you are," Scarlett said. The room went dead silent, every eye turning to her. "It's barely $2,000. Relax. Give me the account, I'll transfer it." "Generous girl," the man said on his way out. "Next time you're short, just call. Approval takes about 60 seconds. That app had a good-looking ad. I downloaded it to mess around. Honestly, forgot about it," Scarlett told the room. "Sorry for the scare, everyone. Tonight's still my treat." "Told you. Scarlett's not hurting for cash." The table laughed it off. If the red text hadn't been feeding her the real wilting balance of that account in real time, even Rebecca might have bought the performance. After paying off the debt, Scarlett's account sat at roughly $500. Tonight's bill was already running well past $1,000. "You all keep going. I'm just gonna hit the bathroom," Scarlett announced, slipping out. She's frantically hunting for a new loan app, but with her credit already racked, nobody's willing to lend her another dime. "You don't think she's actually gonna bolt, right? We racked up hundreds of dollars tonight," one classmate said. "Relax," Rebecca said, setting her glass down. "If she skips out, I'll cover the bill tonight." "Please. I got a little carried away with spending. Can I get an extension? Or I could stay and work it off," Scarlett begged the club manager. "Pay up now or I'm calling the police," he said. Scarlett spun and spotted Rebecca. "Lend me a little money, okay? I'll pay you back, I swear." She grabbed a fistful of Rebecca's dress, eyes wet. "You've got the nerve to ask her for money?" Natalie materialized, glaring. "I know exactly what you're trying to pull, dine and dash, which is why I came out here to make sure she doesn't fall for it." Years ago, Natalie had nearly drowned, and Rebecca had pulled her out. And ever since, Natalie had made it her job to never let Rebecca take a loss on anything. "What are you thinking about?" Natalie bumped her shoulder. "Nothing. Just glad you're here." "For your room, $1,730. I'll round it to $1,700, the manager said. "Please, Rebecca, please. I was wrong before. I know that now." Scarlett grabbed for her hand. $1,700 is nothing to me," Rebecca said, pulling her arm free. "But I never said I was paying it for you. You're going to walk back in there and tell the whole room I paid for tonight, and that you've been pretending to be someone you're not." Scarlett's head dropped in a stiff nod. "Fine, I'll say it." Scarlett trailed behind them at a careful distance the whole way back.
Just as Rebecca reached for the door, Scarlett suddenly dropped to her knees, tears streaming. "Rebecca, I know I was wrong. Please spare me." Before either could react, someone shoved Rebecca hard from behind. She stumbled and cracked her back against the wall.
"Rebecca, are you okay?" Natalie caught her, rounding on the shover. "Which blind idiot doesn't watch where they're walking?" The man ignored Natalie entirely, crouching to help Scarlett up. "Are you hurt? Were they bullying you?" Scarlett shook her head, eyes glassy red, shrinking instinctively behind him. That was when Rebecca finally got a clear look at his face. Jaden Brooks, her fiancé since childhood, arranged before either of them could talk. She had no idea he even knew this place existed. They'd been tracking his routine for weeks. By the time the swap succeeded once, his family started suspecting something was off about her, so Scarlett hired someone to deal with Rebecca's parents permanently. Jaden cleaned up the scene for her afterward when the first job went sloppy. None of that was love, was it? He was insecure about his own family's standing next to hers, drawn instead to something soft and helpless that let him feel superior for once. She'd never understood why Jaden hated her this much before. Now she understood the truth ran through something far pettier, his own bruised pride. "Rebecca, I really did have you figured right." Jaden's voice rose. "A spoiled bully who thinks money buys her the right to trample people." "Jaden, your eyes clearly aren't working," Natalie shot back. "Did you forget she's your fiancé?" "Fiancé? Please. That was a joke the adults made after too much wine. Rebecca, don't fool yourself. I'd rather marry a pig than someone like you." Rebecca caught Natalie's arm before she could throw a punch. She wasn't angry, not really. "Scarlett, want to explain what just happened out there?" I don't know what you're talking about," Scarlett said, arranging her face into confusion.
"Let me refresh everyone's memory," Rebecca said, a crowd gathering. "You invited the whole class out tonight and then couldn't cover a cent of the bill when it came due. I offered to pay it for you, out of kindness. And this is how you thank me? Dropping to your knees for an audience?" Knew it. Broke and still throwing money around like it's nothing.
"I just wanted to make friends. I didn't realize this place would be so expensive. I'm not rich like Rebecca, who can rent out a whole hotel floor without blinking," Scarlett wept, sliding in the accusation smoothly.
"Rebecca, you really are the type who thinks having money means you get to trample on anyone you want," Jaden said, taking the bait. "Someone like you doesn't deserve real affection from anyone. Is this the kind of family the Grants raised you to be?" "Jaden, don't! It's my fault for being so useless," Scarlett said, catching his sleeve right on cue. "Impressive work, honestly," Rebecca said, clapping. "Should I have a matching trophy engraved for you both? Best actors in a betrayal?" Jaden pulled out a black card and slapped it into the manager's hand. "Run it. I'm covering this." "Jaden, why are you so good to me?" Scarlett pressed close to his side. "As long as I'm here, nobody gets to make you feel small again," Jaden said, gazing at Scarlett with a gentleness Rebecca had never once seen. "This man is fully, terminally oblivious. Without the Grant family propping the Brooks name up for years, that entire household would have gone under a decade ago." The more Jaden defended Scarlett, the more money he spent on her, the faster he'd expose exactly how useless and parasitic he really was. "Rebecca, are you seriously letting these two walk all over you like this?" Natalie stamped her foot. Rebecca patted her hand, a silent signal to stand down. On the walk back into the VIP room, Jaden kept Scarlett's hand locked in his, the two of them moving like childhood sweethearts finally reunited. The rest of the class watched with expressions Rebecca couldn't quite untangle: pity,
curiosity, at least one person discreetly filming.
Sorry about the scene earlier, everyone. Jaden cleared his throat. Drinks are on me tonight. Let's actually enjoy ourselves. Thank you. And thank you all for not judging me. Scarlett leaned into his shoulder. By the time the night wound down, a few of the girls started murmuring that Jaden was practically a romance novel hero. Rebecca nearly choked on her cake. For the rest of the night, Scarlett cut loose completely, running up Jaden's card on liquor and appetizers, dragging him up for a duet, eyes locked on him the whole time. Not yet, Rebecca murmured, holding Natalie back again. The best part of the show always comes at the end. You're plotting something evil, aren't you? Natalie eyed her sideways. Rebecca just smiled and tapped her phone screen, where a fresh recording sat saved. When the night finally wrapped, Scarlett looped her arm through Jaden's, laughing at something too sweet to be real. He carried her bag for her without being asked, a limited edition piece nearly identical to one Rebecca had carried the month before. Outside, the night air cut clean and cold, clearing Rebecca's head fast. Your father and I have agreed to call off the engagement with the Brooks family. It's your call from here on how you want to handle it. I want to see how long that freeloader keeps strutting around once the Grant name stops backing him up, Natalie said. Leaning on Jaden has pushed Scarlett's progress to 95%. She's one step from taking everything. Just thinking a public confession is too gentle a punishment for this, Rebecca said, something cold flickering behind her eyes. I'm going to show her exactly how far apart a phoenix and a barnyard hen really are. On the night of the school's anniversary gala, Scarlett arrived in formal wear that mirrored Rebecca's almost exactly, posing near the main entrance to collect compliments from the crowd gathering around her. Scarlett, you look incredible tonight. Honestly, hard to tell you apart from Rebecca. She's using his connections to sneak into the VIP section, and she already stole the draft of your speech. She's about to step up on that stage and claim she's the real heiress. She just took out another $5,000 in high-interest debt to buy that jewelry set she's wearing. Next, please welcome our student representative, Rebecca Grant, to the stage. The host's voice rang out. The moment the spotlight swept across the room, Scarlett was already moving, striding straight up onto the stage. Hello, everyone. I'm Rebecca Grant. The auditorium went dead silent. Scarlett reached for her phone to read from her stolen speech, only for her face to drain gray the second the screen lit up. A gallery of vulgar debt collection threats where the polished address should have been. What is this? Rebecca climbed the stage steps without hurrying, plucked the microphone from Scarlett's shaking hand. Looks like your first time playing heiress has you a little rattled. Let the real one take it from here. Instead of a slideshow, the massive screen behind her flared to life, cycling through maxed-out credit statements, a graveyard of knockoff designer purchases, and screen after screen of threatening collector messages. The clip that finally brought the whole room to its feet showed Jaden quietly siphoning funds from a grant-financed project, wiring it straight to Scarlett, a message attached. Once I've bled the grants dry, whatever you want. Diamonds, a sports car, it's yours. Rebecca, have you lost your mind? Jaden shot to his feet, every drop of color gone from his face. Scarlett went boneless, crumpling right there on the stage, lips moving without any sound coming out. I'm sure by now most of you have heard about Scarlett's habit of borrowing my style. I never imagined she'd have the nerve to impersonate me at an event this important, Rebecca said, holding the microphone steady. A copy stays a copy, Rebecca said, turning to face Jaden's ashen expression.
Gold plating never turns a carp into a dragon. I hope whoever chose the carp over the genuine article doesn't come to regret it too late.
Once the event ended, the debt collectors dragged Scarlett off backstage by the collar. She screamed for Jaden to help her and got nothing back but a look of pure revulsion. Why did I ever raise such an idiot? Get on your knees and apologize to Rebecca. Tell her you were out of your mind. Jaden's father landed a blow that sent him stumbling.
Don't bother. Rebecca cut the family drama short. Unripe melon never turns sweet. The Grant family has propped yours up long enough. My parents aren't a charity. They can't keep bankrolling wolves who bite the hand that feeds them.
Jaden's parents crumbled where they stood, knowing exactly what this meant. They dragged their son out of the hall, cursing him the entire way. His last look at Rebecca raw with a fury he had no right to feel.
Rebecca stood in the hallway and watched Scarlett get hauled away, rhinestones scattering off her dress across the floor.
That felt so good, Rebecca.
Natalie bounced on her toes. Proud of you, sweetheart. Turns out we were feeding a stray dog the whole time. This chapter's closed for good.
From that night on, the red text grew quieter by the day. Scarlett was sent home to work off her debt, and the Brooks family's remaining assets folded neatly back into Grant hands. Enjoy the rest of your story, the last line read. And then the words dissolved and never returned. When the final message faded, something that had been coiled tight in Rebecca's chest finally let go. Her life was hers to write from here on. She tossed Scarlett's overdue collection notices in the trash without ceremony and headed out with Natalie for soda and pizza.
Where to next? Natalie asked around a mouthful of pizza. The library. I never finished that book on financial history, Rebecca said. Someday I'm running the whole company, Nat. If I don't study, I turn into the next Jaden.
3 years later, Rebecca started her formal internship at the family company, with Natalie appointing herself special assistant. Sunlight spilled across her office desk, catching on the corner of $1 million contract she just signed. Teeking about those two losers again? Natalie asked, handing her tea. No, Rebecca said, gazing at the skyline. Just thinking nobody ever really replaces anybody else. Being exactly who you are turns out to be the best thing there is.
Thanks for joining us. If you enjoyed this, consider subscribing for more. We'll see you next time. See ya!